The seasons are changing. As the weather gets better, Europe's migration crisis gets worse. In a year of critical elections, Malta brings its frontline Mediterranean experience to the leadership of the presidency of the European Union. Malta must match humanitarian obligations with political reality. Stormy seas lie ahead. With several key migration initiatives already in place, the Maltese presidency is focused on implementation. But Malta has already tasked the European Commission with finding new ways to send migrants back and is actively considering the possibility of humanitarian camps in North Africa as a means to more effectively manage migration flows.
We have managed, when it comes to migration, which is such a controversial subject, to achieve operational progress and also political progress in an area which was essentially dividing us over the past few months. Doesn't mean that now we are united on all fronts, but it is a significant step forward.
You can't really address migration by addressing one aspect of migration. If we really want to address migration in a proper way, which can make actually a difference also for our citizens back home, then we need to have more of a wider approach, which includes action when it comes to asylum, action when it comes to external border management, also action to the external aspect of migration, and importantly, the need to have legal routes.
Is it time for a big Marshall Plan effect?
I think to some extent everybody is talking about a kind of Marshall Plan, but member states are not delivering. They promised to send staff members to support our border coast guard. They promised to give money to support the camps in Lebanon and Jordan. They promised to give money for African funds to change a little bit the situation there. They are obliged to work on humanitarian visas. So the plan is there. It's now time to bring that plan into practice.
I believe we do have enough funding, but we can question the way that we're using that funding currently. Are we using it right, efficiently, and transparent? That's the big question, because I have a hard time personally seeing where a lot of the money is going.
The controversial Turkey and Libya migrant deals are symptomatic of the formidable complexities facing the EU. The presidency must find a way to credibly improve the migration situation while respecting international law and Europe's humanitarian rights obligations.
La Turquie, il y a un État, il y a même un État un peu trop fort, on pourrait penser, mais la Libye, il n'y en a pas. Donc quand on entend que les dirigeants européens veulent négocier avec le gouvernement qu'ils reconnaissent en Libye, parce qu'il y a plusieurs gouvernements en Libye, quel garde-frontière va-t-on former? Le gouvernement reconnu par l'Union européenne n'a aucun contrôle sur aucun garde-frontière, aucun garde-côte.
We are dealing with an internationally recognized government, which we have acknowledged has its problems, has its significant problems. But it's not a reason to abandon this government to its own means, but it's actually a reason to engage even more.
We have to give the Libyan government the opportunity to implement this deal. The difference between the EU-Libya and the EU-Turkey deal is that for Libya, we don't have a concrete operational plan yet. I hope to see this plan as soon as possible. In the overall deal, we forgot to put one thing, putting a limit on the number of people arriving in the EU. That's still missing, unfortunately.
Of course, you can't compare the situation of Turkey with the situation of Libya. And I'm quite convinced even those who like the deal with Turkey can't say we can do anything similar with Libya. That is not possible. But what we do need are more agreements between European Union and those countries where we do have stable government, stable administration, where there's no war, no political persecution, no torture, but simply poverty. So we do need transparent readmission agreements with them, and we have to work on giving them more possibilities for education and work.
Strengthening and streamlining the common European asylum system is a key migration priority for Malta. It's viewed as critical to ensuring a fair distribution of the migration load amongst member states. Attempts to revise the Dublin regulation, which sets out member states' responsibilities for examining the asylum applications, is an intrinsic but highly politicised part of the presidency's migration puzzle. Deep sensitivities surround the relocation of 160,000 people in clear need of international protection from Europe's member states. solidarity has been missing in action.
You're speaking about solidarity. On paper it looks very nice. I will mention, for example, relocation, where the member states committed to relocating 160,000 migrants, but so far very, very few migrants have been relocated. And I believe that if there is one example where member states can show this solidarity, then this is it.
In an attempt to better coordinate Europe's migration response, Malta is assisting the transformation of the European Asylum Support Office into a fully fledged European agency. Malta is advancing a holistic migration approach, incorporating internal and external EU dynamics. The big picture success of Europe's migration strategy will depend on implementation of the Valletta Summit Migration Agreement and Europe's partnerships with African nations. Do you think that Malta, as a frontline member state in the migration crisis, has that extra edge, has that extra understanding that can help achieve this approach?
I believe so, because we've been facing the issue of migration for quite a number of years. For us, this is not a new phenomenon. We understood what solidarity would actually mean if it was present, because we had issues where our asylum reception were stretched to the limit. We know what it means to save lives and to make sure to help those people, but we also want to have a situation where, when you look at other member states, you get that solidarity that you actually need.
Malta has done a lot of work in past years of taking refugees and even given asylum, so they do understand what is behind, they do understand what is going on in the different African countries, and I only can hope that other member states are listening to that and they focus on finding solutions and supporting not only Malta but even more Italy and Greece.
We felt for a very long time that, for example, what was happening in Central Mediterranean was being sidelined. And I am sure that Malta and bringing together other countries who know what it means to be facing migration in Central Mediterranean together, I think we can make a difference, and I'm hopeful.
That's all for this month. Next month on the Presidency, we take a closer look at how Malta is implementing the Presidency's security agenda. Thanks for watching.